But that leadership challenge that was and then wasn't the only embarrassment today for the New South Wales Liberal government. What is it about New South Wales particularly, politicians and money? Today, the Sports Minister, John Sidoti, stepped aside from Cabinet until the state's corruption watchdog, ICAC, checks him out. Now, ICAC is looking into how Sidoti got a 10% stake in the development at Rouse Hill near the now newly completed Metro West train line. Now, that Rouse Hill property is now the site of a multi-apartment development and has soared in value from $4 million to $70 million. That's a property that also benefited from road design work done by the Transport Department when Sidoti was still Parliamentary Secretary for Planning. Now, Sidoti says he's done nothing wrong. Sky News Sydney reporter Danica Di Giorgio has investigated and joins me now. Danica, ICAC's now investigating the allegations against John Sidoti. What are the allegations exactly, as far as you can make out?
Good evening, Andrew. Well, the ICAC has today come out saying that it is launching a preliminary investigation into the New South Wales Sports Minister John Sidoti to investigate whether he failed to declare conflicts of interest. Now, this relates to his private business interests, but specifically how he acquired property, as you said, near the sites of future transport hubs. Now, this all relates to, as you mentioned there, a $70 million residential tower in the Sydney suburb of Rouse Hill. And at the time that the development was taking place, Mr Sidoti was the Parliamentary Secretary for Planning and Transport. But ICAC is looking into how Mr Sidoti managed to get a 10% interest in the tower itself through a family company. It's also been revealed that during the time that this was being planned, the Department of Transport was looking at building a road leading into this private development, and it has since emerged that it was the confirmation of the road's parameters that essentially gave Mr Sidoti and a Chinese business partner, the property developer himself, the green light to go ahead with the Rouse Hill development right next to the Tullawong station, which is in the heart of the state government's $8 billion Northwest Metro Transport Plan. Also, Andrew, the ICAC is also looking into properties acquired by John Sidoti's mum and dad in the suburb of Five Dock, which are now set to have soared in value, as Five Dock is set to be slated as a future transport hub because there's set to be a station on that line. And we're talking, if we put the value on these properties, there's set to be a windfall of some $41 million to the Sidoti family.
Gee, good money if you can get it. My goodness me. What has John Sidoti said about all this?
Well, over the last couple of weeks, John Sidoti has strenuously denied the allegations. Today, he put out a statement confirming that he would step down from his ministerial duties while the ICAC is conducting its investigation. He said, "I deny any allegations of wrongdoing. I have no undeclared conflicts of interest or benefits. I comply with the Ministerial Code of Conduct." Now, during a very brief budget estimates hearing last week, Andrew, which is now being described as quite comical, Mr Sidoti, on 104 occasions, 104, told the inquiry itself that he did not, that he did meet his disclosure allegations, but he failed to give any evidence when he was under pressure by Labor and Greens MPs.
And what has the Premier said about this?
Well, the Premier has come out and she's also always backed up her Sports Minister. She was only asked last week, she was asked, did you ask John Sidoti how he acquired his stake in the properties? She said, well, that would be inappropriate. Today, she released a statement saying that she would comply with ICAC, and it's understood that she was the one who actually urged Mr Sidoti to stand down while ICAC is conducting its investigations. But she herself initiated an internal review, which now has been scrapped pending the corruption watchdog's investigation.
Did I hear you right, that she said it would be inappropriate to ask the Sports Minister about this?
Correct. She said that she essentially, the line itself was she can't ask every single minister to discuss their private business interests.
Good heavens. Danica Di Giorgio, thank you so much for bringing us up to date on that.
Thank you, Andrew.